I sometimes wonder if love is just an elaborate game of pretend. For 7 years, I pretended that Maya and I were soulmates, a perfect marriage built on trust, respect, and shared dreams. We had the house I designed and built with my own hands, the careers that made us the envy of our social circle, and plans for children someday. But illusions, like glass, shatter easily when struck by the cold hammer of truth. Looking back, I should have seen the hairline fractures forming months ago, the late-night work calls behind locked doors, the sudden password changes on her phone, the way she flinched when I touched her shoulder unexpectedly, the declining frequency of intimacy, always excused by headaches or exhaustion. Classic symptoms of a disease I refuse to diagnose. I'm an architect by trade. I notice details, the slight misalignment of a door frame, the imperceptible crack in a foundation that spells disaster years down the line. But when it came to my marriage, I chose blindness, until I couldn't anymore. It started with a lipstick shade I didn't recognize on a wine glass, then a cologne scent that wasn't mine lingering in our bedroom. Small inconsistencies in her stories about late meetings, the quiet transformation of her wardrobe, new lingerie that I never saw her wear. I began to feel like a ghost in my own home, haunting rooms where something invisible was happening right in front of me. So I did what any rational, desperate man might do when facing the potential collapse of his life. I installed cameras. High-resolution, discrete monitoring systems throughout our home, hidden in smoke detectors, bookshelves, even the handcrafted bed frame I had spent months perfecting as a 5th anniversary gift to her. Not my proudest moment, but desperation rarely produces nobility. I told myself it was just to confirm my paranoia was unfounded, that I'd see nothing and could finally breathe again, secure in the knowledge that my suspicions were just that. Suspicions. What a fool I was. Our 7th anniversary approached with the quiet inevitability of an approaching storm. I had planned a simple, intimate dinner at La Maison, the French bistro where we'd had our first date. Nothing extravagant, just a celebration of us. Maya had been distant lately, claiming work stress was consuming her, but I hoped the familiar setting might rekindle something that had been fading between us. That morning, I left a handwritten note on her pillow before heading to work. 7 years of building this life together. Looking forward to many more. Dinner at 7 at our spot. All my love, Daniel. At 3:42 p.m., my phone buzzed with a text that would become the first domino in a cascade of destruction. I need space to think. Don't come home. No explanation. No context. Just 12 words that turned my stomach to lead. I called. No answer. Texted back asking what was wrong. No response. After an hour of suffocating silence, I sent one final message. I respect your need for space. I'll stay at the Meridian Hotel for a few days. Please call when you're ready to talk. Then I lied, telling her I had to go out of town for an emergency client meeting. A convenient fiction that would give me the distance to observe what happened next. I checked into the hotel, ordered room service I couldn't taste, and opened my laptop. The camera feed from our home loaded instantly, showing Maya pacing in our kitchen, phone pressed to her ear. "He's gone for a few days," she said, her voice clear through the high-quality microphones. "Business trip. Yeah, perfect timing, right?" She laughed, a sound I once treasured but now felt like shards of ice in my veins. "Just come over. Bring that bottle of Barolo we've been saving. We can celebrate properly." Celebrate? Our anniversary, perhaps? But not with me. At 7:13 p.m., the doorbell rang. Maya had changed into a black silk dress I'd never seen before. She'd styled her hair, applied makeup more dramatically than usual. The camera in the foyer captured her smoothing her hands down her sides, taking a deep breath and opening the door. And there he was, Tyler Westfield, executive vice president at Maya's company, married father of 2. I'd met him twice at corporate events, found him arrogant, overly familiar with my wife. He'd remember me as the quiet, boring husband who nursed one scotch all evening while discussing structural engineering with anyone who would listen. He entered carrying an expensive bottle of wine and a smirk that made my blood simmer. He didn't wait for the door to close before his hands were on her waist, his mouth on hers. God, I thought he'd never leave, Tyler said, pressing her against the wall I had personally textured and painted a warm terracotta 3 summers ago. He thinks I'm journaling or something, Maya replied with a laugh that stripped away 7 years of memories in an instant. Poor Daniel, always so trusting, so boring. Boring. The word echoed in my mind as I watched them open the wine, my anniversary gift from last year, saved for a special occasion, and toast in the kitchen where I had cooked her breakfast every Sunday since we moved in. To your brilliant text message, Tyler said, clinking his glass against hers. To space. Maya smiled, that dimpled smile I once believed was reserved for me. He's probably sitting in some hotel right now, making lists of ways to be a better husband. They laughed. They drank. They ordered takeout from the Thai place down the street. Pad Thai for her, green curry for him. He knew her order. Of course he did. And then they went upstairs to our bedroom, to our bed. The bed I had designed and built from walnut and maple, sanding each piece by hand until it was satin smooth. I watched through the camera as another man undressed my wife on sheets I had changed just that morning. I closed the laptop. Some details don't need to be witnessed to be understood. For 3 days, I existed in limbo. I went through the motions of eating, showering, sleeping, but felt detached from my body. I watched the footage sporadically, enough to confirm that this wasn't a one-time lapse, but an ongoing affair conducted with casual cruelty toward the husband they believed was oblivious. He's too dull to ever find out, Maya said on the second night, nestled against Tyler in my spot on the sofa, sharing stories about me that once made her laugh, but now served as punchlines for my inadequacy. Too focused on his precious buildings to notice his marriage collapsing. Tyler kissed her shoulder. His loss is definitely my gain. I watched them shower together in the bathroom I had retiled myself, saw them drink coffee from my mugs at my kitchen island, heard them make plans for trips they would take once Maya finally left me. Just a matter of time, she assured him. They speculated about how I would react when she eventually asked for a divorce. Maya predicted tears and desperate promises to change. Tyler suggested I might not even fight it, being so passive and all. He'll probably just draw up the papers himself, Maya said. Always so proper, my soon-to-be ex. By the 3rd day, my shock had crystallized into something hard and cold. I made no plans to confront them, no dramatic scenes of catching them in the act. I'm not a violent man. I've never raised my hand in anger or even raised my voice during an argument. But I am methodical, detail-oriented, patient, and I know how to demolish a structure so thoroughly that not even the foundation remains. On the morning of the 4th day, while Maya and Tyler were still asleep in my bed, I began the systematic dismantling of the life we had built together. First, I called my attorney, Richard Stern, a shark in an Armani suit whose reputation for handling high-profile divorces preceded him. He had represented the ex-wife of Maya's former CEO in a scandal that had rocked her company 2 years earlier. The irony wasn't lost on me. I need your discretion and your ruthlessness, I told him, transferring a substantial retainer from my personal account. I have evidence of infidelity, and I want this handled quickly and definitively. Send me what you have, he replied, and secure your assets immediately. I did. Our joint accounts, drained into my private LLC. The investment portfolio, transferred to my name only. The credit cards under her name on our joint account, Canceled. The emergency fund she didn't know about moved offshore. Next, I listed our furniture on high-end consignment websites. The dining table we'd selected together in Milan. The custom sofa that had taken 6 months to deliver. The artwork we'd collected during our travels. Within hours, dealers were making arrangements for pickup. But the crowning achievement was Maya's designer collection, her pride and joy. Handbags, shoes, and clothing worth tens of thousands accumulated over years of investment purchases, as she called them. I photographed each piece meticulously and created auction listings with detailed provenance information. Collectors snapped them up within hours, paying premium prices for barely worn Chanel, Hermes, and Balenciaga. By noon, I had liquidated approximately $87,000 in assets. By 2 p.m., I had compiled and edited the most damning footage from the cameras, creating separate packages for various recipients. Maya's devoutly religious parents received a carefully edited montage that spared the explicit details, but left no doubt about their daughter's infidelity and casual cruelty. Your daughter has betrayed her marriage vows and mocked her husband behind his back, I wrote in the accompanying email. I thought you should know the truth before the divorce proceedings begin. Tyler's wife, Stephanie, received a more comprehensive package, complete with timestamps that aligned perfectly with his business trips and late meetings. I included screenshots of text messages between him and Maya, discussing their future plans together. I'm sorry to be the one to tell you this, I wrote to her, but I believe you deserve the truth, as do your children. The HR department at their company received the most professional compilation, focused entirely on the misuse of company time, resources, and the ethical violations of their relationship given their positions in the corporate hierarchy. As a concerned party with documentation of ongoing ethical violations, I feel compelled to bring this to your attention, I wrote, attaching calendar entries showing meetings that never happened, expense reports for lunches that covered their rendezvous, and snippets of them discussing how to manipulate schedules to maximize their time together. And then I waited. The responses came in rapid succession. Stephanie Westfield called me directly, her voice tight with controlled fury. I've suspected for months, she said, but seeing it, thank you for having the decency to tell me. My attorney will be in touch with yours. Maya's mother texted a single line. We raised her better than this. We're praying for your strength during this difficult time. And then the email from Maya's company's HR director. Mr. Harrington, we've received your documentation and are initiating an immediate investigation. Both parties have been placed on administrative leave pending our findings. By evening, everything was in motion. The furniture removalists had come and gone. The walls were bare where our photos had hung. The closets emptied of everything except a few of Maya's oldest items, things she no longer wore but hadn't discarded. I made one final trip to the house while they were still out, presumably dealing with the sudden collapse of their separate worlds. I placed a USB drive on her pillow with a handwritten label. For your reflection. On it, I included every minute of footage I had collected, every conversation, every mockery of our marriage, every plan they had made for their future at my expense. I added copies of the emails I had sent, screenshots of their messages, and financial statements showing the now empty accounts. And finally, I added a letter, not of rage or hurt, but of cold finality. Maya. By now you'll have realized that your actions have consequences beyond our marriage. I've respected your request for space and taken it several steps further. The house is empty, because our life together was empty long before I removed the furniture. The money is gone because trust, once broken, cannot be refunded. Your reputation is damaged because you damaged something far more valuable. The 7 years I invested in a partnership that meant nothing to you. I will not fight you. I will not beg. I will not even hate you, as that would require an emotional investment I'm no longer willing to make. You have what you asked for. Space to think. I suggest you use it wisely. Daniel. In the bathroom, I took her favorite red lipstick, the one she had worn for him, not me, and wrote 5 words on the mirror. "You wanted space. I gave you exile." Then I left the house I had designed and built, knowing I would never return. The aftermath unfolded like a perfectly executed demolition. Maya called me 17 times that night. I let each call go to voicemail. Her messages evolved from confusion to outrage to desperate pleading. "What have you done? How could you expose me like this? My parents won't speak to me. My job is gone. Please, Daniel, we need to talk. I'm sorry. I made a terrible mistake. We can fix this." I texted a single response: "Contact my attorney. All communications will go through him from now on." Tyler's wife filed for divorce the morning after receiving my evidence. The preliminary hearing didn't go well for him. The judge was particularly disturbed by hotel receipts showing he had taken Maya to the same resort where he had celebrated his anniversary with Stephanie just weeks earlier. Maya's company moved from suspension to termination within days after their investigation confirmed she had falsified expense reports and misused company resources to conduct the affair. Tyler, being more senior, faced additional charges of creating a hostile work environment and abuse of power. Someone, not me, leaked portions of the footage to Reddit, where it went viral under r/pro-revenge. Maya's social media accounts were flooded with messages that ranged from mockery to outright harassment. She deleted her profiles within hours. Her family maintained their silence. Her friends, many of whom were mutual, chose sides quickly, most distancing themselves from the scandal. I moved to Portland, where my architecture firm had been quietly establishing a second office for the past year. I purchased a modest apartment under my new LLC and began rebuilding my life piece by piece, like a new construction rising from cleared ground. 3 months later, I received a single email from Stephanie Westfield. "The house is listed as of today. I'm handling the sale personally. Poetic justice, don't you think? P.S. Tyler lost custody appeal. Karma works in mysterious ways." Attached was the listing for my former home, photographed to highlight its spacious primary bedroom with custom bed frame and gourmet kitchen perfect for entertaining. The asking price was 20% above market value. I smiled for the first time in months. Some might call what I did cruel, excessive. Perhaps it was. But architecture taught me that when a structure is fundamentally compromised, you don't patch the cracks. You tear it down and start over. Maya wanted space to think. I gave her a lifetime of emptiness to reflect upon the home she destroyed. And in that destruction, I found something unexpected. Not happiness, not yet, but freedom from the beautiful glass house of illusions I had built around our marriage. Sometimes the only way to move forward is to leave nothing behind. And so, we've reached the end of today's story. Was it what you expected, or did it take a twist you didn't see coming? I'm curious to hear your thoughts. Share them in the comments below, and let's get a conversation going. If this story kept you hooked, make sure to hit that like button. And if you're new here or just haven't subscribed yet, now's the perfect time to join our community. I bring you fresh, captivating stories every day, so click that subscribe button and turn on notifications so you never miss out. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.